Test test, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I believe we're live here. Welcome back to City Valley Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And well, this round, yours truly is answering the mail, specifically some questions concerning how we've been setting up our OPST Commando head on our fly reels. So in this case, it's one-handed spey. We're actually talking about just two fly reels, the Echo Ion fly reel and the 4-5 weight, and then the 6-7 weight. But before we go there, let's go switch over real quick to this other scene here. Okay. All right, so we'll give you a real quick update on Turner Falls Park. That's where I went fishing Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Oh, I forgot now. Anyways, this past weekend. And we had a good time, other than yours truly only caught one. My fishing partner was able to get 4. And right there is a map. Right there. So there's the map. Yeah, that's the map. And they stocked above the waterfall. And kind of stayed in this section over here. Right about here. Right about there. So where it says area 5. We kind of hung out over there and got a few fish. Did notice that there was a lot more grass and whatnot that was kind of throwing us a curve when it came to trying to fish with the fly rod. But our fishing partner was able to use power bait. Actually, it was power worms and wacky rigged, and they were able to catch a few that way. So good stuff there. Anyhow, let's go answer the mail. How I like to set up the Echo Ion fly reel, and this one in particular is the Echo Ion 4-5 weight. So we put this on a 5 weight fly rod. It's typically the 5 weight classic Trout is what I had that one on. Excuse the noise in the back. Our fishing buddy Charlie, the Maltese Doogie, needs to assert his authority, but hey, we'll just work through it. And then the other one that I have is a 6 weight 6-7 Echo Ion fly reel also. And on this one, it's set up a little bit different than the 4-5 weight because it has a different running line, and I'll describe to that here shortly. Okay, so let's just go pull this out real quick. And this is the fly rod that I was using the other day at Turner Falls. In fact, there's the rubber-legged near deer that was used to, I think, no, they had some hits there, but it was actually just a near deer that hit. Oh, there's Charlie. Come on, Charlie. Come on up. All right. Well, Charlie, he's got to say hi. He's got to assert his authority. So sit over here. Be good. Okay, so let's talk about the Echo Ion 4-5 weight. Okay, and this is a 5 weight. It's got a 225 grain OPST Commando head. And the way it's set up right now, let's go shift up to the other scene. The way this one is set up is I've got the fly leader and tippet. All right, so that is connected with a perfection loop, a loop-to-loop connection that goes on to, in this case, it's a let's see, a nail knot that's going to a floating tip with about maybe 6 inches, and it's a perfection loop, and then a perfection loop on the fly leader itself, or the leader, and that gives that loop-to-loop connection. And what that does is it allows me to switch out the fly leader and tippet, or fly leader, as needed. Then there's the floating tip right here, and this one is basically I think it's called T1 line. I went and bought some of that, and I think I made it about 4 or 5 feet. Yeah, let's see. Go pull that out real quick. Okay, yep. Yeah, I made this one. So it's a floating tip, about 4 feet. Yeah, about 4 feet. And again, I have a nail knot, and this is 50-pound mono with a perfection loop, and that's giving it another loop-to-loop connection. And then that is actually attached to the heavier portion, the shooting head portion of the OPST Commando head. Excuse me. And that is also a loop-to-loop connection. And then you can see it's pretty thick. Okay. And with the 4.5 weight, 9-foot 5-weight rod that I've been using, the 220 grain has been a pretty good one to use with that setup. Nicely balanced, and I can definitely shoot that line out there fairly quickly. And then you'll see how thick it is. I think it's like 11 or 13 foot shooting head. And then it'll come to another loop connection. And here I'm using this OPST laser line. It's a mono line. I've got a big, right here, I think it's like a double surgeon knot loop right here. And that allows me to, oh, now there's a cat here. Give me a second. I gotta move the cat. All right, come on, go. Come on, get out. Come on. Close the door. Charlie, stay. All right, I'm back. Just give me a second here. Oh yeah, so got a lot of animals hanging out. So the cat I have to watch because he'll definitely like to eat this line. Okay, and Charlie wants to now come in, but he's gonna have to deal with it. Okay, so from a running line perspective, I've got this OPST laser line. Okay, and that is then attached like a normal connection that I use for the Dacron backing. So the way I set this one up is it's got about maybe, I think about 30 yards of Dacron backing, and then the whole spool of the OPST laser line. So this is that mono that definitely will tangle on you if you're not careful, but it definitely shoots out there, that shooting head. And then from there, a loop-to-loop connection that goes to the OPST Commando head, 220 grain. And then from there, let's bring that up. I have a loop-to-loop connection that's going to a floating tip. Now, I can take that off and quickly move to, OPST makes several sinking tips. I think it's like, I forgot the names of them, but there's 3 different styles, and depending on which one you get, they sink faster than the other. I went with the medium one that's in the middle between the 3, and I keep that one handy. When I use it, typically in faster water, possibly Denison Dam when they're generating, I need to get that sinking tip to sink quicker with my fly. But typically when I'm fishing, be it the Blue River, different ponds, different local lakes and whatnot, I'll just I'll just use the floating tip. So with that, floating tip, and then another loop-to-loop connection to my fly leader, and that's it. That's the 4.5 weight or Echo Ion 4.5 fly reel on a 5-weight rod. I like the Reddington Classic Trout. It's a fast action that definitely can shoot this line out there. I've been having really good success with it. So, but I've since retired that one because I got this TFO 6-weight and moved up just a little bit in weight because I went fishing up at Denison Dam and I caught a nice striped bass, about 29-inch one year. But right after I caught that one, a bigger one took it and just ran me into the rocks and broke my line. And what I remembered was I pulled that 5-weight all the way back and put it almost to a complete bend, and I could not turn that striped bass, and so I decided to go on to a heavier setup. So I went with a 6-weight as well as an 8-weight switch rod, and then I went back to this 6-weight TFO as well, one-handed Spey, and it's been pretty good too. And a little bit different than the 4.5 weight when I set up the OPST Commando head is this one's a 225 grain. Still have a loop-to-loop connection with the fly leader to the floating tip, and again I can change that tip out to different things, be it those sinking tips or that floating tip. But in this case, I got some more T1 line or L1 line, I can't remember. It's the one that you use that's basically a floating. You can make your homemade tippets, or not tippets, homemade tips when you're setting up your OPST Commando head from a one-handed Spey standpoint. Actually, it could be for two-handed as well. But anyways, loop-to-loop connection. So this is the 225 grain. Again, it's thick, and this is on the 6 weight. And what's different about this one compared to the 4-5 weight is it's a little bit longer from a shooting head standpoint. I still have that loop-to-loop connection, but this time, instead of the OPST laser line, a mono style running line, I have that attached to this M Catch Maximum running line. I think it's a fairly cheap, like I think it's like $8-10, and I've got that attached via a loop to the OPST's Commando head. And the reason why I do that is because this line feels much more like a running line, coated running line that you have on your traditional fly line setup. That OPST laser line running line kind of throws you. So you got to get used to it. It does shoot out better, further, faster, slips right through the guides and whatnot. But again, this, if you want to feel like a more traditional fly line, then use this running line. Okay, and we've had really good success with it, and we'll put some links in there. Anyways, it's that running line. We use the whole thing, and then again we have it attached to some Dacron backing as well, and then that's it. And this one, this is the one that I used recently at Turner Falls, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video. Excuse me. And in this case, I was easily able to get to the other side of the river where I was standing fishing for the trout. You had to get to the other side of the river, or at least cast the other side, because there was a lot of little like greenery and brush that was clobbering the area, so the trout weren't or you weren't able to present your fly in that area because of that. So anyways, that is how I set up the OPST Commando heads from a 5-weight standpoint, 220 grain. To the 6-weight, 225 grain. Difference between the two running line setups is one is a mono running line, OPST laser line is the brand, and then the other one is a coated running line that feels much more like a traditional fly line running line that you have on your fly line setup, and that one's a knockoff M Max Catch or something, and that's been really good for me. So anyhow, I just wanted to answer the mail. I've been getting some questions here or there concerning how we set up these OPST Commando heads. I think there's a couple of videos that we have that explains why we took this up. I think it's like why we decided to take the one-handed Spey and why we do that. In fact, here, let me go look for it real quick. Let's see, give me a second. I'll bring it up on the browser here. Let's see, web browser. I think this is it. Yeah, there we go. And let me bump this up in the presentation. There we go. And give me a second here. I'll do just a quick search on Spey, or let's just say Spey. That should get it. No, that's not it. Shift back. Spey. Right there. Okay, I got it. Okay, let me just move this over. Skip the ad here in a moment. Okay, there it is. Why we like one-handed Spey casting with the Commando head. And this one gives you a more in-depth look at to why I decided to take up one-handed Spey casting and whatnot with the OPST Commando head, and it just breaks down with the different fly rods, reels that I've been using, and it's mainly dedicated to looking at the line and why you would use it, and some suggestions there. So do take a look at it. And again, main thing we want to do this round was just give you a quick update on turf falls. Yes, there's some trout there, but could be tough for you, especially with the area being clobbered at least in that one section that we fished. And then additionally, I want to give you some pointers, or at least some info concerning the OPST Commando head for the 5-weight setup, as well as the 6-weight setup. All right. All for now. Till next time, we'll catch you later. And oh, by the way, if you do have any comments, questions, things to bring up, definitely put in the comments. I read them, check them out, and hopefully I can answer them as soon as possible. And maybe we can learn a thing or two about fishing, be it from our trials and errors, as well as from the things that you guys suggest. All right, till next time, we'll catch you later, and good luck and good fishing.